baby AIDS try to make you sad?
That could literally break your nose.
You may have noticed the background of this video is different. It's really interesting. You've got white walls and then a little painting of something. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is I have recently moved to Australia, the place where Cold Ones is from.
Yogurt effect. Congratulations.
And everyone has a really funny accent. Now, I've mentioned this before in streams and videos. Why are you doing this? Basically, I'm gonna hit 30 soon. I'm gonna be an unk, and I wanted to kind of like travel and see other countries because, as we know, once you hit the age of 30, you get put into a retirement home with TikTok on auto scroll. Either that, or you're sat there with one of those devices that scrolls for you. Have you seen those, by the way? Oh my god, like why do they exist? Now, the setup at the minute is a little bit ratchet. I will probably show a picture on screen or something. Basically, balancing my camera on a bunch of cardboard boxes, and I'm working off my laptop. That's because I'm getting everything shipped over, or I'm buying it. I obviously want to get the PC setup I had at home. And thankfully, for such mythical companies like JB Hi-Fi,
JB Hi-Fi are smashing prices in their crazy 3-day Australia Day sale.
I can actually get the electronics I need. They just take some time, but I didn't want to just sit here and wait. So in the meantime, I thought I'd give you some slop. And to show that times are changing and content here is going to be different, what can I talk about? Kick streamers. Oh my god, of course. He takes a week off just to talk about kick streamers again. So this revolves around a kick streamer called Baby Hayes. And he was streaming one day, doing an IRL stream, like many people do. And the problem is, if you've noticed, most people that are known for IRL streaming, at some point, they end up getting harassed. And this interaction seems simple enough. Basically, a random person goes up to Baby Hayes and asks for his kick ID.
You don't know me. Why do you want my kick account?
To watch when I'm at home.
Now, I've talked about IRL streaming before, and it really can be a mixed bag. Some of the interactions can be hilarious. Some of them really worrying. You're kind of putting yourself in the firing line, and you almost feel bad for the streamers that end up doing IRL content because, you know, anything could happen to them. But again, with kick streamers, it's almost like the dark matter, the antimatter of normal streaming, where you find out that during the IRL stream, the actual streamer themselves is the nuisance. So like I said earlier, this guy asks Baby Hayes for his kick ID, and for whatever reason, Baby Hayes is kind of on the defensive. Now, one of the reasons possibly behind that is because Baby Hayes is known as basically a professional nuisance streamer. Nowhere near Johnny Somali levels, do not worry. That is its own category. That's like a Thanos tier threat. Now, this is just an assumption, but he might be a little bit apprehensive around giving his stream ID away because the guy might actually use that to then report him to the police. Could you imagine that, by the way? Like, instead of like a driving license or a passport, you just get like your Twitch ID to get you arrested. I mean, to be fair, at the minute, there has been an unprecedented amount of streamers getting arrested for just being nuisances or annoying in public. We've had Johnny Somali, Vitali, probably countless other smaller streamers as well. And then he calls the guy weird for wanting to get his ID, saying, you know, you don't know who I am, you don't know what content I make.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because you don't know who I am. You don't know what content I make. You just want my kick stream.
Oh, I assume you make your content like this.
I don't want to give you my kick ID. I don't want to.
So they go back and forth. They're a little bit stun-locked, like when Hassan has one person in his chat disagreeing with him, or when I get a £10 donation and try to clip farm.
Right, I'm turning them back on.
You look like SCP-097.
Can we stop?
I'm clipping you right now and making lots of money.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Shut up. But then we have a third character enter the mix. This is Harry Boy. And these two actually have a bit of a backstory together. They met earlier in the night at this place called the Content Corner. Now, I've never actually heard of this. It sounds like somewhere you just kind of hang around awkwardly at TwitchCon or something. But apparently in Shibuya, it's a really popular spot for streamers to meet up. Creators will go there when they're streaming. They'll meet other content creators there as well. It's just outside of Family Mart, which is a pretty bizarre location, but it's basically become an unnamed holy grail for streamers in that area or people that are visiting that area. And that night, the Content Corner was apparently absolutely packed. So during this, Harry Boy starts networking with a lot of other creators. And eventually he goes up to Baby Hayes, and Baby Hayes responds by just yelling in his face.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Baby Hayes.
Baby Hayes.
Are you on Kick too?
I'm on Kick.
Okay, nice to meet you, man.
I'm new around here, buddy. I'm new around here.
Wait, hold on. You're the worst leech I ever met in my whole life, bro. You suck, bro. You suck, bro.
are you talking right now?
Just calling him a leech in general, just being really aggressive towards him for not really any reason. Now, I'm not that well versed in kick law, thankfully, but this could be because Baby Hayes actually thought that Harry Boy was trying to leech off someone else called Nick Lee, who was also at the content corner. Nick Lee being the husband of Amaranth. So back in the original clip, Harry Boy shows up again, and then he's talking to the guy that was asking for Baby Hayes' kick, and then Harry Boy calls him a Japanese nationalist.
Dude, who's like some kind of Japanese nationalist.
And accuses Baby Hayes of trying to call the police to try and disperse foreign streamers.
He brought the police out here to press all of the foreigners.
Again, probably at the time trying to get them to quickly end their streams. So unsurprisingly, being accused of being a Japanese nationalist, Baby Hayes doesn't take this too well.
You know what I should do?
And then after that, they start arguing.
I should call the police for you being a leech.
Baby Hayes calls him a leech. Harry Boy then responds saying that he's been in the content corner for like a straight year, so he's not really leeching, he's earned his spot.
Don't come to my fucking corner and call me a leech.
You came to me. Fuck, I was standing right here. You were standing over there, you came to me.
You were like at 24/7 for 1 year.
It's almost like you've got two people arguing over like gang territory or something, but instead it's just like, well, it's E territory. But then what happens when two content creators argue? They escalate. They bring up any single accusation they can muster. So this is when Harry Boy brings up allegations that Baby Hayes has against him.
Can you tell me what the case against you and why people want you in jail?
I don't have a case whatsoever.
So apparently, looking into it, there was a woman and she brought charges of assault, not against Baby Hayes around 6 years ago. Korean courts actually found Baby Hayes not guilty, and the woman was actually convicted false accusations. And because of all of this as well, the South Korean government actually covered his legal fees. Now, even though he was found not guilty, the scars are probably still there and probably will be there for the rest of his life. So using that as ammo, it really set him off, and he basically just threatens to break his nose.
Because I could literally punch your nose and break your nose bones right now.
They keep arguing. Harry Boy threatens to talk to the police and get Baby Hayes arrested.
I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right now.
At one point, Harry Boy even gives him the name. He calls him... Okay, it's really not that funny, but he gives him the tagline, Baby AIDS. Baby AIDS. Why is that just such a... That's so unfunny. That's so unfunny. That's something you find funny when you're like 12.
Baby AIDS try to make you sad.
What's her name?
Oh, poor baby AIDS.
Right.
Again, I don't think it's funny in the context. It's just such a ridiculous word that means absolutely nothing. But anyways, like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just going to laugh. But this then escalates into them starting a fight. So Harry Boy goes over to the police, and I assume he tells them basically what's going on. It's all in Japanese, a language I don't actually speak in. So if any of you are Japanese, please feel free to translate the next bit.
すみません、犯罪者見つけましたけど、これ絶対空気に出してます。そう、どうかしてほしいです。
Unfortunately, kind of realizing that he's a streamer, the police don't really care in the slightest. It kind of reminds me of that meme, me when I'm at work, but I have to do my job.
I'm a little tired, a little wired, and I think I deserve a little appreciation.
But then they just put bottom text Baby AIDS. Okay, we're not forcing that into a meme. We're not. There'll be a post on the Pyro subreddit that gets like 3 upvotes, and that's it. So Baby Hayes walks away, and it seems like a fight actually never broke out. That's the end of the beef. That is until somehow, on complete accident, they end up bumping into each other again. Because Harry Boy found Baby Hayes sitting on some steps in an alleyway, just streaming himself. Baby Hayes looks kind of out of it. Maybe he had a bit too much to drink, but he repeatedly tells Harry Boy to go away, leave him alone.
We found Baby Hayes in a little tiny corner.
Leave me alone. Leave me
Little
alone.
tiny. Oh, cool.
Go.
You think you call the shots?
Leave me.
Interesting.
Leave me. So
Interesting.
is it hard to leave me alone? Leave me the f alone. Go away.
Trash out, little shaker.
Go away, bro.
Harry Boy tries to start arguing, telling Baby Hayes that he's on his turf. Again, this like really cringe kind of argument about turf, like it's the ballers in GTA or something.
In my country, in my fucking territory, in my area. Dude, you don't understand that you're in my fucking territory. Like, you really don't understand this. I'm so not threatened by you.
But despite all of this, Baby Hayes just isn't engaging, even when Harry Boy tries to straight up fight him.
Oh, come attack me.
That is until the camera moves away from Baby Hayes.
I'm not drunk right now.
Not drunk. We're gonna put it on.
Oh, you choose to leash. That's what you do, and you're offended by me calling you leash.
Now, I do know that dogging on kick streamers is the lowest of the low. It's basically the equivalent of saying, did you know in 9/11 people died? But so many kick streamers seem to have this constant and persistent main character syndrome, where if they're not the center focus of something, then there's no point doing it in the first place. And I get it, a lot of streamers, especially IRL, it's your stream, you are the center of attention. But it just goes so much next level with so many of these streamers. So Harry Boy talks to another guy, Baby Hayes calls him a leech again. Harry Boy responds by, he moves away from the baby AIDS bit and just calls him fat.
So there's like a fat dude on the stairs saying the word leech.
You don't want me to call you leech?
And again, he keeps bringing up this argument of, oh, you're in my territory, you're in my territory. But like during that night in Shibuya, there was probably like 20 other streamers at the same time. Again, Baby Hayes just sits there repeating that he wants to be left alone while Harry Boy and his friends are taunting him. And then that prompts Baby Hayes to actually smack the camera out of Harry Boy's hand. And that is the #1 cardinal rule of what you can never do to a streamer, removing their camera. The camera is an extension of them. It's their heart, it's their soul, and more importantly, the only way that they can make money, because if the viewers don't see anything, they're not going to subscribe, they're not going to give you money. And in response, Harry Boy ends up throwing his drink at Baby Hayes.
Oh, God. Hey!
Now, unfortunately for the people in the stream, they were truly devastated, not seeing that their streamer, their juicer, was getting into a fight, but more importantly, the camera fell to the floor, so we couldn't even see the fight. I mean, it's not like I was going to show you it anyway. Are you serious? Anytime I do that, they basically age restrict the entire video. But by the time the camera's back up, Baby Hayes is in Harry Boy's face, basically just saying to him, like, if you hit me like that again, I'm going to you up. Now, we don't see the punch, and again, I wasn't gonna show it anyway, but it did happen off screen. Then we see another individual actually get in between these two beefing.
Harry! Right here! Harry!
Baby then spits on Harry Boy, and once again, for a second time, is going in for the double kill, smacks the camera out of his hand.
Oh, dude, you got my phone.
Harry Boy then leaves, you know, takes his friends to a small convenience store. But Baby Hayes isn't done with him and basically follows him, asking him to not hit him again.
You don't hit me again. Like you threw a beer at me.
You just hit me.
Now, this round, Baby Hayes actually ends up getting the first hit as he pushes Harry Boy's face back. To explain the next part of what happens on the stream is very difficult. I'm not sure whether the convenience store owner knows that, you know, streamers are kind of an epidemic, so he's built some kind of like 5G signal jammer inside of his store, but the stream just completely degrades. You hear like items falling off shelves, shoes squeaking, and then the screen cuts to black. But when we get the video again, we can see Harry Boy and Baby Hayes, they're being held back by one another, and Baby Hayes ends up being escorted out of the store. Now, this is one of the main problems with the IRL streaming in general, is because it basically promotes stuff like this. You know, if you get into a fight with someone, an altercation, I could imagine during that stream, both of their views probably doubled or even tripled. I mean, just before Baby Hayes even shown up, he was saying how lit the VOD was going to be.
But this VOD is going to be so lit.
So then finally, like any random 30 seconds into a Night Rain game, Baby Hayes leaves. But does it end there? Does the beef end there? No, of course not. Streamers are like some of the most petty people you know on the planet, and the only way to keep the drama going is to instigate it. So this is when Harry Boy starts watching Baby Hayes' stream on his stream, basically saying that he's running away and like mocking him. And apparently Baby Hayes actually got a really bad head injury from the fight. But like any announcement in Smash Bros of a new challenger arriving, there's another streamer called Karamo, and he's one of Harry Boy's friends, and he shows up. Karamo basically asks him, you know, why did you assault my friend?
Why did you assault me? Leave me the f alone.
But Karamo clearly has a lot less self-control than Harry Boy, because he ends up clocking Baby Hayes directly into the jaw, knocking him out on the floor. Karamo then leaves the area with Baby Hayes, but this is probably the weirdest thing to happen next, and honestly, I wouldn't even be covering it if it wasn't for what happens next, because this is just like kick streamer Lebad 3.5 billion. There's some old Japanese guy, right, and he walks over, and he picks up Baby Hayes' phone, and he just leaves with it. I thought this would be like, you know, really nice old guy. You know, you've seen the Studio Ghibli films and there's always like the elderly character, the caring mother or father or aunt or uncle or grandparent. No, this guy just sees a free phone, snatches it, and then leaves. Now, this guy was also so boomer coded, he probably has no idea what a stream is. So he's walking around Shibuya for like half an hour, just clearly IDing his face to everyone in his chat. And the best part is, the only way he actually found out he was streaming himself to the world was some guy basically sent a random $2 donation that was in Japanese. And it translated to, read it now, please return my phone, call right now, call me back. And then the old man reads it and he immediately ends the stream. Now, what happened after this? I mean, honestly, unfortunately, Kick Streamer W, again, like they got their clip, they got their VODs. Sure, they were probably both a little bit banged up afterwards, but that's worth it, right? It's always worth it for the clout. So first off with Harry Boy, he basically went on stream and said that a lot of people around him were happy that Baby Hayes got put on his ass.
Well, like, I've never met the guy. I don't know anything about him other than last night, but people were saying, oh, this idiot finally got his ass handed to him. Like, apparently he does, he's a nuisance streamer, well-known nuisance streamer, so.
Saying that he's basically a really well-known nuisance streamer, and there were a lot of people behind the scenes that were kind of preying on his downfall. There was also another streamer called Tozo who reportedly gone to the police about the incident, though they weren't actually involved at all with the altercation.
Tuned in to Kick to see Detective Tazo going to the police station. Tazo literally has nothing to do with it.
And Tozo couldn't actually file a police report without Baby Hayes being there. Or at least Baby Hayes would actually have to, you know, sign off on the whole thing, since over there you can't actually begin a police case on someone else's behalf.
He was not involved in the situation whatsoever, and he went to the police station to try and help Baby Hayes make a case. And he's going to wait for Baby Hayes to come back himself. Apparently Baby Hayes would have to report it himself. Like, Tazo can't do it on his behalf. And
this actually confused Harry Boy a lot, because according to him, he and Tazo were actually on good terms with each other. Good enough terms that he apparently wouldn't side with a nuisance streamer.
Not that, like, we're close friends, but having been friendly with him for 5 years, and him just having, like, zero inclination to pick a side over some random nuisance streamer that just came into our territory and up. He's like, oh, well, let me help him with the police now.
So, back to Baby Hayes, who got absolutely decked out within seconds. What does he want to do now? He's had his phone stolen. He's basically going full scorched earth, claiming he's going to sue anyone that was involved.
And I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm mad, bro. Like, I am mad. I'm gonna do everything in my capability to these guys over.
I'm guessing that's Harry Boy. I'm guessing that's Harry Boy's friends. I'm guessing that's also that random old Japanese man that stole the phone as well and streamed for 30 minutes. And then he basically asks people to sub to him, to follow him on his journey. I don't know what journey that is. Maybe like getting a lawyer degree or something.
By the way, subs and everything is on right now. So if you guys want to support this lawsuit journey where I these guys up, like, litigiously.
Now, he gives an ultimate villain monologue here. I'm talking like Jafar from Aladdin. Actually, no, that's giving him too much credit. You remember when Disney, like, made those cash grab films? Okay, they still do that. You know when Disney made those cash grab films in the late 90s and early 2000s? He'd have, like, Cinderella, and then Cinderella 2, or you'd have Aladdin, and then Aladdin 2. And because they were, like, the sequels were direct-to-video films, there was just obvious huge downgrade in animation quality because it wasn't being shown in cinemas. They just wanted kids to buy it and just watch it on repeat at home. He's giving a dialogue similar to that. I remember as a kid watching this Beauty and the Beast film, the sequel, and again, the animation was just nowhere near as good as the original because they probably had, like, you know, just a small team from another crew working on it, and they were probably paid a fraction of what the team that worked on the first film made. Anyway, there was an evil piano, or was it an evil harp? I don't know, I don't remember, but it was just this big evil face, and he would do all these, like, scary monologues.
Have I ever steered you wrong, led you astray?
I think it was an organ, actually. I do think it was a church organ. I just know he's voiced by Tim Curry, and Tim Curry voiced literally every evil character back then. I also like how they always use Tim Curry for the villain in, like, most animated films and shows, and he just had the exact same voice every time.
Who's mad now?
Yeah, I'm the villain, darling. Yeah. Oh, I do love being bad. I think there was this film as well called Fern Gully, and he was the bad guy in that, and he was literally just a pile of slop.
I'm really getting the hang of this.
That's not even a joke, by the way. No, I remember that very fondly now. So anyway, that tangent aside, Baby Hayes is going full, I'm just going to call it Tim Curry mode, because first of all, he ended up his pants in Shibuya. Now, the thing is, this was never caught on stream. Nobody knew about this. He could have just, you know, kept it to himself, but he chose not to and tell everyone. Like, this is some kind of, like, sympathy thing. He seems really angry and just, you know, he is not happy at all with all the fame he's gotten from getting knocked out. He also just bizarrely accuses Harry Boy of being a file, you know, as you do. Pulling up this clip where he talks about how many underage girls he smashed.
Dude, this guy literally said he underage girls so many times in Neverland, Shibuya, and this is the Neverland DJ. Like, wait, hold on. Am I scripting? Am I fake? Wait. Do we need to watch the video again?
And then he pulls up a clip of Harry Boy apparently talking about how many underage girls he smashed.
Dude, you know how many underage chicks I've smashed?
But yeah, what's the moral of this story? Kick is the best live streaming platform ever invented. No, I did not just accept a $20 million deal and I'll be streaming there next week. Who told you that?